Okay. Is everyone able to see my screen? All right. Well, welcome everyone to the competitors briefing for the 2021 Lipton Cup. My name is Andrew Lorenzen. I'm a member of the South Beach Yacht Club, and along with Jens, who's the Commodore of the Ensenal Yacht Club, we are the two co-chairs for this regatta. I must say we're quite happy that it is actually going to be happening. We started planning this event back in 2019, and it's been a long road to get here. But it seems like at this point, the only thing holding us back might be the wind. So just some other people who've been involved. PICYA with Bill Gargan and Winston Bumpus. From Ensenal, we've also had Brent Draney, who's the rear Commodore. St. Francis Yacht Club has been involved with Greg Marr and Paul Heineken. Paul Heineken is also going to be serving as the chair of our technical committee. Rob Overton is our chief umpire for the event. And Mike Gross is our PRO for the event. Just a brief announcement for everyone. I believe as of yesterday, we still needed charter fees paid to the St. Francis by all 10 competitors. So before the boats are checked out on Friday, someone from every club will need to either by phone or in person pay that charter fee to the race office. Grace in the race office is there. It can take credit card information by phone. Tomorrow or Friday morning, someone can go in and pay in person. But those fees do need to be paid before you can take your boats. A few equipment requirements that we were asking for all the clubs. We mentioned in the notice of race, we would like everyone to bring a burgee to fly on their backstay. We also are asking all boats to supply a VHF radio. The St. Francis will not be supplying the radios because there is no way to charge them at the different venues every evening. And so we're asking each crew to supply their own for their day of racing. And then we also have a request that at least one person from each crew provide a cell phone with the Race Cues app installed. We would like to try tracking the racing in real time. And Brent Draney from Ensenal has set up an event for us. And at the end of this meeting, we'll go through and demonstrate how to install and configure this app. But also PICYA has very graciously purchased battery packs for all the teams so that your cell phone will not die while you're tracking your progress across the bay. Okay. Before we move forward into more of the schedule for the day, does anyone have any questions about the equipment requirements?
I have a question.
Sure.
What about protest flags? Will you supply those, or do we need to bring that?
I believe there are protest flags with the boats.
Sorry, yes, that's correct, Andrew. They'll be equipped with a red flag and also a Lima flag in the event of a breakdown that competitors will fly from the shrouds, and they'll be taped onto the shrouds.
Okay, thank you.
You're of course.
And Greg, there will also be a Yankee flag in each boat?
Yes, I will confirm that with the dockmaster, but we should have Yankee flags on the boats.
The sailing instructions have Addendum D equipment list, page 7. It has a list of all the gear you'll have on the boat.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions about the equipment? Okay. So moving along, we're going to talk about the schedule for the weekend and the logistics. Just before this meeting, as of, I don't know, 7:57, I did upload a transportation schedule to Regatta Network. So you should be able to find this after the meeting. But this is what we would like to go over and discuss with all of you. So on Friday, we will be racing from the St. Francis Yacht Club to the South Beach Yacht Club. There is in the morning an option for people who would like to arrive early and take the boats out for a practice. We have also arranged for parking at the South Beach Yacht Club. Parking passes are available with the harbor master. They have a list of all of the competitors where they'll be checking names against, but you can arrive at South Beach. They've also agreed to leave the gate open from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for people who are arriving and don't have their own gate key. The harbor master's office is on the second floor, kind of across the hallway from the yacht club itself. I will note that parking at South Beach is fairly limited. And so if all 40 participants drive themselves to the South Beach Yacht Club, there will not be enough space in the parking lot. So I do ask that not everyone plan to drive to South Beach, but if one or two of the crew from each team would like to leave a car at South Beach, that is certainly an option that's available. We have 2 boats that we've arranged to take people from South Beach to the St. Francis Yacht Club, and those boats will be departing at 10:30. So you will need to plan to arrive probably no later than 10, to leave time to go up to the harbor master and purchase a parking pass, and then board the transport shuttles. And we will be there to direct people, but just in case you can't find us, if you go to gate 3 in the marina, we will have someone there to let you in and direct you to the shuttle boats. If we do depart on time at 10:30, we expect to be at St. Francis by 11:30. So everyone who is driving, that's your dock time if you're not there for a practice. The skippers meeting is at 12:30, so it'll give you 1 hour to rig your boats and become familiar with them before and pay your charter fees before the skippers meeting. We will be having a skippers meeting in the courtyard of the St. Francis. We're fortunate enough now that we can actually get access to the club for that. As of a couple of weeks ago, the plan was to still do it down on the dock. But obviously things are opening up slowly, and so we can actually have the skippers meeting in the courtyard. The race start is at 2 p.m. We're hoping to have everyone finished around 4:30. We do have slips arranged at South Beach, and we will announce those as you finish, saving the best slips right in front for the first 2 finishers. So there's a little bit more motivation. And then we invite everyone to come up to the yacht club afterwards. We will have the bar open. We will have 1 drink ticket for everyone. And we'll also have some hors d'oeuvres. We'll do the awards. And if people want to stick around for dinner, we also have a dinner available for purchase. And then there's also a Friday night race going on at South Beach. Our normal beer can races will be happening. So most of our members will be out racing while we're all in the club. So hopefully it's not too crowded. For those of you who maybe are still a little concerned with larger crowds or just not as comfortable as you used to be. And we kind of expect that by the time we're wrapped up is around when all the Friday night racers will be coming in and joining the party. So I'm going to just pause here and ask if anyone has any questions about Friday.
Hi, Andrew. This is Ted Floyd. Just a quick question about the practice session at 9:30. Will the boats be pre-assigned by then to each of the teams, or how does that work? You just take out any boat that's available and then bring it back, and how's that supposed to work?
The boats have already been assigned.
Okay.
I believe that was part of the charter agreement, but in case that wasn't explicit, we uploaded the list of racing teams for people who want to see who's participating, and we also have the boat numbers there.
Okay, great.
So
Thank you.
for Encinal, you'll be in boat number 7.
It was in the charter agreement.
Okay. Okay. So for moving on, if there's any more questions on Friday? All right,
Any
not,
big
move
problem
on.
with, excuse me, any big problem with crew changes as listed here?
If you have crew changes, please let us know. I don't think there's any requirements that you had to provide the exact crew list ahead of time. We just would like to have
Super.
it for our records. So if there are changes, just let us know and we can
Certainly.
update that list and repost it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Now for Saturday, obviously the boats will be spending the night at the South Beach Yacht Club, but the racing will be taking place in front of the Encinal Yacht Club. And if the forecasts are proving correct, there will not be enough wind to sail the boats across in the morning. And so we will be planning to tow them across instead. And so we were asking that 2 crew from each team participate in that towing. And the reason for 2 is in case the wind does pick up halfway across, 2 people can then sail the boats the rest of the way if that's what needs to happen. And so we will have tow boats depart the Encinal Yacht Club at 8:30 for people who are driving over there. If for some reason just arriving at South Beach is a lot easier than Encinal, or you miss your ride, we will plan to depart the South Beach Yacht Club with the boats under tow at 9:30. So if you need to meet us at South Beach, you can. The plan is for the boats to arrive at Encinal by 11. And so for the other 2 crew who are not part of the tow, that would be their dock time. And then our skippers meeting will be at noon, and then we will be starting racing at 1 o'clock. Our goal is to finish all 6 races by 5 p.m., at which time Encinal has planned quite a few evening activities and dinner. And Jens, I don't know if you want to speak any more about that or not.
Maybe 2 things I'd like to add. One is we want to offer crews a sandwich or a snack type food just before the skippers meeting between 11 and 12 o'clock. And any crew that does not want to take this service of sandwiches, please raise your hand and let me know, because then we can plan sandwiches. Otherwise, we'll have 40 plus snacks available for you to take onto the boat so you can have something to munch on during the race.
Quick question. Is there going to be, is it allowed to take the boats out for a little practice in that 11 to noon time slot?
I would think so. I don't see any reason why you couldn't, as long as you're back at the dock by 12.
All right, thanks.
Actually, just one item, Andrew, you reminded me of.
Yep.
So on Friday morning, for crews who would like to take the boats out for practice prior to the skippers meeting at 12:30, you should budget time to get back to the dock and change sail inventory. Folks who are going to go out before the skippers meeting will be issued practice sails. And when you come back in for the meeting, you can drop those off and pick up racing sales. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
And so that is just for the Friday morning practice.
That's
After that,
correct.
the boats will have their set of sales for the 3 days.
Correct.
For the towing specifically, the staff at the St. Francis asked that we tie bolins, interlocking bolins around the mast with tow lines. Tow lines are provided on every boat. We will try and keep all the tow lines on the starboard side of the forestay, and they should also go through the triangle formed by the backstay in the stern. And we will probably have 2 or maybe 3 boats in a line with every tow boat. Okay. So moving on to Sunday, we will have another shuttle arranged so people can drive to the St. Francis and park their car. I believe that's a nice large 50-foot boat, so there should be plenty of room for just about everyone. The shuttle will depart the St. Francis at 9 a.m. sharp. If people are parking at Encinal, they should probably plan to arrive at Encinal at 10 a.m. The skipper's meeting will be at 11. And then immediately after the skipper's meeting, we will be towing all of the boats out of the estuary for a start line that will be off of the Alameda air station, but outside of the estuary itself.
Andrew, I think there was a comment last night that people taking that shuttle should bring their own PFDs because there may be a lot of people on there. Just a comment.
Yep. I'm going to guess that most people will be bringing their whole crew bag that presumably has a PFD with them. But if not, please plan to bring your PFD. All right, so the warning signal on Sunday is at 1 p.m. We're expecting the race to finish between 3 and 4 p.m. Following racing, we will have an award ceremony again in the courtyard at the St. Francis Yacht Club. I am sad to say that they have not yet opened up the club fully to guests. And so you will not be able to get a guest card and socialize at the bar afterwards unless you can wrangle one of the members of the St. Francis team to host you as their guest. We were hoping that maybe things would have opened up by now, but it seems like they haven't quite gotten that far.
Say something.
Okay, so that is the schedule. Does anyone have any questions about any of the logistics for the weekend?
Just see what they say. Yeah, I have a comment or a question.
Sure.
David West here. I'm not positive. I'm looking at the most recent sailing instructions, whether there have been amendments, but the Sunday schedule does not appear to be completely consistent. I've been known to read instructions and not get every detail right, so I could be wrong. But I think the skipper's meeting shows as noon. And I think that the starting line is only defined as, I understood it to be off the club. So I'm just gonna leave it there and let you guys over time work out whether you need to update your instructions.
That is sounding a lot like our Saturday skippers meeting and our Saturday starting line.
Okay, well, like I said, I may have misread it and I just make the
Okay.
comment and you guys can have a look and see whether there's a problem or not.
Right. We appreciate the comments and we will definitely double check after this.
Great, thanks.
Andrew, this is Mike. I just pulled up the SIs to make sure that we can kind of go through this stuff while everybody's online here. Looking at the SIs, the schedule of races for Sunday Says competitors briefing at 1100 hours at the EYC docks and the first warning at 1300 hours.
Okay.
So I'm looking at the SIs now. I can't see your schedule that you had posted. Let me see. Does that conform with what you have?
It does. 11 a.m. skippers meeting, 1 p.m. race start.
And with regard to the starting line, I believe the SIs say that the starting line for the actual definition of the starting line is the same for both Saturday and Sunday, but the starting line, that doesn't say where the starting line is going to be placed. So the starting line is expected to be somewhere close to the club on Saturday and somewhere not very close to the club on Sunday. Boats are going to be towed to the starting area on Sunday, so it should be pretty obvious where the signal boat is and where the finish or the starting mark is. It should be pretty obvious where the starting line is set up to everybody that gets towed out.
Okay. Is there any other questions?
Team, it's Ethan Doyle here from the San Francisco Yacht Club. My apologies. I joined a few minutes late, and so apologize if you already covered. But on Saturday, the towing from SBYC to the EYC, if we're racing on Saturday, do we need to have 2 representatives on those boats, or is that going to be sorted out by the?
No, you will need 2. Each club that is participating will need to supply 2 representatives to assist with towing their own chartered boats across the bay Saturday morning.
Got it. So we would need really to have 2 representatives at the EYC by 8:30 on Saturday morning.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. If there are no other questions on logistics, I'm going to hand this over to Brent Draney, who's going to talk about race queues and how to get it installed on your phone.
Hello all. I would like to share my screen if I can. That
Would you still like to share yours, or does this work?
If you want to advance slides, that would be just fine.
Okay.
Okay. So everyone, we thank you very much for showing up. One of the thoughts we had early on as we were planning this and not knowing the state of how open we would be, and as well to give your audience back at your local club the ability to track progress. We looked at race queues, and it looks like it's going to be a fantastic addition. We would love to have every yacht club bar presenting the race with just a small time delay across all of our clubs to be able to track your progress as you come in and win the Lipton Cup for your club. So if you have an Android phone or a Apple, you can go to the App Store, and if you go down to the next pane, this is what the app looks like when you search for it. And just search in for Race QS. It will pop up and you can install the app. Feel free, if you have the phone with you that you're going to be used for racing, go ahead and add it now. This is very simple to walk through. By the end of this discussion, you can probably have everything configured you need. We are also going to have the umpires who are on the water with us and the Markset boats running race queues as well. So we can see them running around to have part of the fun in there as well. Going down to the next pane, here is what it looks like on an Apple phone. Looks very similar if you are running with Android. And so the very first pane on the right is what it will come up. If it's the first time you've installed it, you won't have a boat. Here I've got my normal ride listed as a boat. And there's a few things we need to do to configure it. So first of all, if you click on the boat button, it will allow you to add a boat. All right. So select the boat tab, then add a boat. We're requesting that you put in your yacht club to make it easy and to make sure the screen isn't too cluttered. If you can just use the anagram for your club, the abbreviation would be great. Put in your assigned boat number. UIC was assigned 7. So we have that in there. And then the J22s are 22 feet. Make sure and hit save after you've added the boat. And then when you go back, you will see the boat name. Okay. Go ahead and go to the next screen. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is make sure you're set for a live data stream to get it real time instead of at the end of the day. So the very top button, live streaming normally says off. You will turn that to on and it will turn red. Then the next set is there's an area that says preset start. Now, start doesn't mean the race start time. It means the start of your data feed upload. It will bring up a calendar and date that you can set. You want to make sure that you turn it on so that the green button is showing. Typically, as soon as you select a date and time, it automatically shifts it over to green, but just make sure it's green. And then again, remember to save. We do request that you start your upload at least 20 minutes ahead of the scheduled first warning of the day. And this will give us a chance, if we are not seeing your feed, to come over and contact you or call you on the radio and say, hey, please check your phone and make sure your feed's on, because your yacht club is going to be very disappointed if they can't see where you're at on the race course. Okay, and then afterwards, you'll see a screen something like this, and this is really the verify and confirm. So live streaming should be set to on. Your boat name should be set to EYC, and it will set your time and make sure you do have the correct date as well as time. At that point in time, you can plug in the external battery pack if you haven't already done that. Leave the app on, place the phone in a safe place down below. You don't want it to be sliding around the boat. Preferably, you would like the phone face up with the top of it facing towards the bow. It's not critical, but it does help avoid some artifacts. And then go out and have fun racing. You don't have to worry about it for the rest of the day. Okay, so here is a link to the race cues, hopefully in the PDF file that we uploaded to the site that's clickable for you. It will bring up the regatta page. It looks like that. It's got a wonderful countdown timer for us to go, as well as the 3 days. So we go back to the PowerPoint for a sec. Okay, there is a side pane that allows you to open up and you can see where the boats are that selects. There's also a camera angle selector that is pretty good at giving you different views. For the start, if you have it set to auto, it works pretty well. And then you have the playback controls, so you can fast forward up to the point of data that's uploaded. You can adjust the timing, things like that. So if you go down to the next page, when you open up the side tab, there's an analytics sub-tab. It's the farthest of the right of the 3 at the bottom. You can click on that, you can choose the boats that you are seeing. One great thing to do is if you have turned this on and registered your boat, go ahead and go to race queues, and you can select an avatar for a J22. I can also select that as well and hopefully set it, but occasionally permissions may not allow me in. So it would be great to have all the boats look like J22s. You also have a set of data that you can display, which actually is pretty impressive in its analysis. But the yacht clubs can figure out what they would like to display as they're going as well. And we are going to have a TV by the pool area at EYC for all of the spectators that is going to be playing this in real time also. And then close the side pane after you're done playing or setting it up. You can also choose one other boat to compare. So if you have a heated rivalry that you want to look at, you can select those. One boat will be green, one boat will be red, and it will give you a good idea of who these boats are. It stops your favorite boats from getting lost. But you will see all 10 boats. Okay, and then you actually do get a full 3D rendering of it. If you look there in the middle, you can see a boat that is pitch polling. It's actually the phone down below is pitch polling. So this is why we suggest laying it flat. A trick I use that's pretty good. I'll put my phone in my shoe in my gear bag if I'm carrying a gear bag, and that keeps the phone flat, level, protected, and doing the right thing. So, and I believe that may have been the last slide that we had in this instruction set. So, are there any questions about race queues?
Actually, Brent, I have a question about race queues.
Absolutely, go ahead.
It's very likely that somewhere between 1 and 3 different phones are going to be in use over the course of the weekend. How does the app get turned off so that we don't have somebody driving around in their car on Saturday who was on the boat on Sunday show up in race queues out on the highway someplace?
That is a good point. You know, at the end of the day racing, we should turn off the phones. That actually won't matter because it will only display the boats that are in the area. It's not going to magically pick up someone in the car. Now, if we have a boat going under the bridge and someone going over the bridge, I could see race queues potentially getting confused. But yes, we do want to make sure that only the phones that are actually racing at that point in time have it turned on.
I'm going to be very impressed by their battery if it's still tracking 24 hours later.
So race queues does have a default of turning off automatically after 6 hours. So that is built in there partially to save your battery. Okay, any questions from the competitors? I'm guessing several have already used race queues at least once, but it's a pretty easy app. We hope to have this add to the enjoyment of our events. My one last personal pitch is, the estuary is a very warm place. Do make sure that you dress for warm sailing as well if you're racing on Saturday, and do feel free to bring a swimsuit. We do have our pool area open. Thank you.
Okay. I think that was everything we were hoping to address. Does anyone have any other questions for us before this weekend? Okay. Well, I thank everyone for taking the time out of their evening to come and listen to all
Andrew,
this.
Andrew, you
Right.
have at least one hand waving at you.
Oh, sorry. I
I
can't.
guess I was muted. I'm sorry. Does the club have towels, or would we bring our own towels if we're swimming?
I would suggest everyone bring a towel if you can.
BYOT.
Yeah, bring your own towel. We do have a locker room where you can store things like that. That should be of sufficient size for the number of competitors we have. So if you bring a towel, you won't have to take it on the boat with you. But I would definitely do that.
The other thing is on Saturday, the post-race activities, it's good to get the participants in the race and the members from that club to prepare to participate in that, in the the paddle boards or the liar's dice or whatever else is going on. So it might be worth talking to your members to see who might be interested in joining in that post-race activities.
I think that's a very good point you're bringing up, Jim. And if you have information for us on Friday when you're racing the first time, or if you sample your crews, please let us know on Friday morning, and we'll take that information back to Anson.
Okay. I think because I'm sharing my screen still, I can't see any hands. So if there are any, please let me know.
There's at least one other one.
All right, Ethan, did you have a question?
Yeah, just back to the Saturday morning logistics. If we ended up meeting at the SBYC, would there be any issue with that? If our two representatives to tow the boats over ended up meeting at the SBYC, would that be okay?
That would be okay.
Okay.
I myself am planning to spend the night on my boat at SBYC, so I will be doing the same.
Okay, and so if we plan to be there at 9, we think we target being there at 9 or at 9:30. Okay.
I think
To
we
be there
plan
before the towboats leave.
Right.
we plan to depart at 9:30. So if you can be there by 9 or 9:15, that would be best.
9:29. Great. I'm joking. I understood.
Well, somehow, I mean, how do we make sure that we don't? I mean, we're not going to wait for you if you didn't show up at Anson, but it's good to have some confirmation of sorts. If you choose the option of South Beach, I want to check the box and say, no, we don't have to wait for you.
Yeah. Should I? We're gonna go through this as a team and figure out who can do what, and there's a bunch of complicated logistics. So we can. I'm happy to email Andrew if that makes sense on once we figure it out, or even on Saturday morning. Would that work, Andrew?
Yeah, that works. Or as long as someone from your team on Friday lets us know.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do the people who are involved in towing the boats over from SBYC to Anson have to be team members, or can they be anybody willing who's competent?
That is a question that I do not know the answer to. I'm going to ask Greg if he happens to know what the charter agreements would stipulate.
I do not think, I think the charter agreements are silent on this question.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the chartering club is responsible for the boat and the personnel assignments. And I think we could leave it at that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And then you mentioned you were gonna add some attachments to send out. I don't know if that includes the assigned boat list, but that would be helpful, as well as the schedule.
Yeah, so if you all can still see my screen, on the Regatta Network page, if you go to this race documents tab, all the information that we've been presenting tonight is there. So
Right.
both the transportation schedule, and then on the 2021 racing teams, that has the boat numbers next to each team.
Excellent.
And then,
That's great. Thank you.
and we also have the race cues presentation that we gave this evening.
Well done.
And if you want to know how to find the Regatta Network page on liptoncupsf.com, there's for detailed information and a nice big link to Regatta Network.
Well,
Also, maybe
Andrew,
I
on
can
behalf of the
add-
Berkeley Yacht Club, I just want to say you guys have done a fantastic job putting this together this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'd like to add one more thing to the rescue thing so it doesn't get lost on you guys. So if you click on this link that launches the countdown timer, not only can you display that at your club, but anybody in the world can see this race going on. So if you have fan base in your club that, you know, somebody in Marin County, somebody in San Jose, give them the link and they can watch what's going on. It's everybody can watch it.
Okay. Well, with that, I'm going to thank everyone for coming, and I'm going to stop our recording.
Sorry, Andrew.